launched its plans for the centenary this week, and how fitting that we should kick off the Challenge Cup here at Thrum Hall, home to Halifax for over 108 years, long before the breakaway of the 22 clubs from the Union in 1895. And some interesting ties tomorrow. Castleford v Salford should be a close encounter at Weldon Road, and not far from here, former St Helens coach Alex Murphy, he'll be hoping his Huddersfield team can perform a giant-killing act. London threatening there to upset First Division Featherstone Rovers, and the holders Wigan looking for a 7th successive march to Wembley. And the Silk Cup Challenge Cup extended its horizons this season with inclusion of 64 leading amateur clubs in the earlier rounds, many like Cambridge and Hemel Hempstead, and down there in Wales, Cardiff Institute, reflecting the national spread of the game, but many like Millom and Woolston and Upton and Frickley, reflecting the heartlands of Cumbria, Lancashire and Yorkshire. And the 16 successful amateur clubs from those who competed in round 2 eventually met the 16 professional clubs from the second division, but unfortunately none of the amateurs upset the odds. But perhaps a word of mention there for Saddleworth, just narrowly being beaten by Highfield. And nothing like the Challenge Cup to bring out the crowds. Warrington, a couple of thousand supporters, and Halifax, good vocal support, always here for the Sky Blues. And as Richard Duckingfield tells us, it's all about a cup that cost £60 way back in 1896.
Yes, Ray, but nowadays a prize beyond value in rugby league, and it has resided for the past 6 years at Wigan. But this marvellous trophy was first competed for way back in 1897, when it was won by Batley. They beat St Helens in the first final at Headingley, Leeds, when they were captained by J.D. Plunkett in that match. And Batley were rather the St Helens, the Wigan of their day at that time. They won the cup in the first time, they won it in the second season, they won it 3 times out of 4. And of course the names of all the great rugby league sides are on the winners' shields of the trophy. But one name you'll certainly never be seeing again on the winners' shields is that of Broughton Rangers, the Manchester-based side who won the trophy twice in the very early years of the competition. And 2 coaches here today who dearly love to get their hands on this trophy, Brian Johnson of Warrington and Malcolm Reilly of Halifax, he agreed it would be a tough tie at home today.
My exact thoughts when it came out of the bag, yes. Warrington are a tough side, and they've been playing particularly good football recently. So it is a daunting task, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, Halifax have been indifferent, and Warrington has been indifferent. And I guess the difference is we've got away with some wins. But I don't think the form book will count for much today. You know, there'll be 2 sides out there totally committed. It'll be a very good match.
2 teams today for good football, I thought.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that there will be. Our encounter in the league game was a tough encounter, and they won marginally. A Jonathan Davis try, which was a game breaker. Today, on our own ground, the lads are pretty focused in on the job. I'm quietly confident. Just hope we can do the business.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what happened last week or the week before, or what's going to happen next week. It's down to 80 minutes today. If we want to win today, then we've got to do the business today and not worry about what's happened some other time.
2 appearances for Halifax at Wembley in the 80s. They plunged into the transfer market this summer in an attempt, though, to pay another visit. While Warrington have made just the 1 trip along Wembley Way in the past 8 seasons, and I'm sure they don't want to repeat last season's disaster at the first hurdle against Castleford. And history has a habit of repeating itself, would you believe it? The 4th round meeting between the 2 sides today took part at the same stage way back in 1897, and Halifax will hardly need reminding from me. It's 1938 since they last beat Warrington in the Cup. And Bob Jackson there, the substitute, John Connolly, the referee, just getting both sides onto the pitch here, which is a very heavy pitch. But good news for Halifax that former Warrington favourite, Paul Bishop, returning to action after Cartledge's trouble. We can expect a fiery encounter at the base of the scrum. If he can launch the 3/4 line, then there are a few finer wing pairings than Bentley and Preston. And there are a few finer centre pairings than Warrington's Welsh duo of Alan Bateman and Jonathan Davis. If Kiwi loose forward Kelly Shelford can find the gaps, then expect those two to finish off the movements. Good cup atmosphere here, and an atmosphere that the two captains of either side will certainly take note of. They'll be looking for a good effort from the team. Carl Harrison on the left there in the sky blue, the Halifax skipper and Great Britain prop, and regular Aussie half-back for Warrington, Greg Mackey, the midfield motivator for the Wires. And a former Wigan St Patrick's amateur player, 34 years old, John Connolly, twin brother of Robert, to take charge. I only hope that those advocates of two referees on a pitch don't get their way with the Connolly twins, John and his brother Robert, and two young ladies there looking very, very smart, the mascots. Bob Jackson, the Australian second row, coming in for his first match after long-term injury. At a very, very heavy pitch. The pitch has been covered this week. The forecast was for frost, but it was more rain that's been the trouble for the groundsmen. And certainly, Joe, I think you know, Halifax have the advantage on this pitch, which is rather awkward to say the least.
Yeah, it's always nice to play any cup competition on your home ground. They're used to it, obviously, in the conditions here at Cromwell. I was very interested in the pre-match comments of the Warrington coach, Brian Johnson, who said that it doesn't matter about the form of both teams, it's all that matters in the next 80 minutes, and that's certainly the case in cup football.
And an excited, emotional crowd looking forward to this tie. Very, very evenly balanced. It's the sort of tie that could hinge on a goal kick. Warrington's Paul Bishop then receiving to Paul Round. Warrington in the sky blue colours, and Halifax in the sky blue colours, and Warrington, I'm sorry, in the green. Carl Harrison, skipper, had a troubled season, dislocated elbow. Oh, and good crossfield run there from Gary Devote, loose forward. Southernwood, complete with headgear. And that, I think, Joe, Paul Bishop there, I mean, that really will be a big advantage to Halifax today.
That's right, they kick down the field, and also using the slope here at Halifax. They've obviously planned this attack to bring the ball out from their own half in the kick-off, and then use the 5 tackles and then a long kick.
And a very strong wind here blowing at Drumhall, but it's more of, well, it's slightly in favour of Halifax, but more of a cross wind, as Roland Phillips, the big, powerful Welshman, one of 4 Welshmen in this Warrington side. Davis, Bateman, Phillips and Kevin Ellis. Should be an interesting battle there between Bentley and that man there, Rob Myler.
I think it was spotted there that there might be an opening on the left-hand side for the Warrington team. The ball went to ground. It's the scrum now, feed to Halifax.
Bishop, and that's very interesting, Joe. Look at that number 11 lining up in the stand-up position. All round.
Yeah, I think that, you know, they know that he did play his previous games in the back line. He's very good on defence, and I think they're using him out there.
So Warrington on the first line attack, and Bishop already into the action with Hagan to Devote looking for that gap out wide, but very well covered there by Kevin Ellis. Carl Harrison. Halifax looking for the first point. Bishop moving it wide to Perrell. Steve Lay. Good inside step there from Steve Lay, but tempers already fraying a little, and referee John Connolly separating them. Use of the knee, leaning on.
Lay goes through here, makes a good break really. Not clean enough to get any points, but the Warrington side hold him down just a little bit too long, and it gives Houston now the chance for 2 points, the first 2 points of the game.
And it's John Schuster to take advantage of Mr. Connolly's whistle. Schuster, the former Newcastle Knights player in Australia, one of the quite considerable ex-All Blacks, now playing in the game. Not the first All Black here at Halifax. I don't want to give my age away, but I can remember watching Tommy Lynch play here in the 50s. So, John Schuster, a prolific goal kicker down under. Not a difficult kick, but an interesting crosswind to contend with. But he does contend with it, he manages it. And Halifax, much to the delight of those supporters, already 2-0 in the lead.
That's the perfect start that Malcolm Riley, the Halifax coach, had wanted from his team. They brought the ball out from the kick-off, took it downfield with the kick, and then waited for Warrington to make the mistake.
Discipline, Joe, I think could play a very vital role in this cup tie.
Definitely, with packs so big, big packs playing, it's going to be aggressive early on as well. In a cup competition, it's always the same. And I think those mistakes or penalties could cost dearly for one side or the other.
Both sides, winners of the Challenge Cup 5 times. Halifax back in 1987. Oh, and good tackling there from Mike Gregory. Halifax trying to bring the ball away, using the experience of their forwards, but not an experienced pass there from John Fieldhouse. That puts Warrington right on the attack. Roland Phillips, oh, good slip pass to Thursfield. Bad mistake by Halifax here. Kelly Shelford, the playmaker at loose forward for the half-backs and for the pack. Number 13, Kiwi Shelford. Greg Teitzel, just 5 metres now from this Halifax line. And Craig Teitzel injured in that tackle.
Teitzel takes the ball up here. It's a good ankle tackle. But I think he just managed to catch possibly the knees of Carl Harrison on the way down there.
It was also quite a considerable fall. Yes, it was possibly caught a knee, accidental. He fell from quite some distance. Very big man, this Craig Teitzel, as we see, 15'10", 6'1". Had a good season here, his first season at Wilderspool, and well, sad to say, it looks as if he's going to have to leave the field. Well, Mr. Connolly putting up what looks like the blood bin card, Joe, so it might not be as serious as it looks.
No, it might be a cut. Hopefully he'll be able to return to the field. It's in the head region, so whether it's a cut or whether it's a strain to the neck, but he has 10 minutes off the field now to try and sort it out. It's good pressure from Warrington. They made for the mistake from Halifax this time. Took the ball up. This wasn't the tackle that caused the injury, but it's the position of the field that Warrington have obtained, and now they'll be looking to get some points out of it.
So Craig Teitzel going off for running repairs, and Bob Jackson coming on. Ellis looking for support there, but it wasn't to be. And the touch judge coming on, Mr. Barrett. Obviously spotted something there on the blind side, pointing to Kevin Ellis. And I think a bit of problems with Paul Bishop. We said in the introductions that Paul Bishop was a fiery character. And referee Mr. Connolly leaving Paul Bishop in no uncertain frame of mind. So, a chance for Warrington to equalise. Jonathan Davis, then the league's prolific point scorer. So Jonathan Davis then looking now to equalise. Again, not a difficult kick for a kicker of this Welshman's calibre. There are the 2 points. So, all squared, Joe.
Yeah, both teams have scored really off their opponent's mistakes. Halifax have worked the ball down early on in the game to get the 2 points from mistake at the play of the ball, and exactly the same when Warrington pressurised Halifax on their own line. A little bit of unnecessary aggression after the tackle was made, resulting in a penalty and 2 points all.
Hurstfield, Bob Jackson getting a run, very experienced forward, another forward who's been plagued with injury this season. And Richard Duckyfield down there on the bench.
That's right, the news of Craig Teichler is that he's obviously caught something on the way down because he's got a deep cut on the back of his head. It looks as though it's going to take 2 or 3 stitches. They hope to get a tight bandage on it after that, and they hope to get him back into this game.
Jonathan Davis trying to hurry Steve Lay there, and he does. Perfect touch finder from the Welshman. And it's Roy Southernwood again with a knock to the mouth, bleeding profusely. A fast and fierce cup tie. Possibly lost a tooth or a cut lip. And number 15 there coming on for Halifax, Gary Lord. Mark Parrott just moving up to the hooking position. But of course, Joe, losing a hooker these days not as vital as it was a few years ago.
No, the pack's more, you know, they can all play football, they can all interchange positions. As long as you've got somebody that can go behind the tackle at the acting half position and make a good pass to the first receiver, that's most important.
Good run there from John Schuster. Graham Hallis, number 4, former Great Britain tourist, ex-Dudley Hill amateur. Bishop trying to launch these Halifax forward. Number 12, Mark Parrott, an ex-Ovenden amateur player from here around Halifax area. And Paul Bishop again trying to put that kick in. Well, it was stopped by Mark Foster, but Mr. Connolly deciding it was a knock-on.
From the touchline, obviously a busy beginning to this game for the man with the needle and thread. Roy Southernwood has come off, as you saw, with a deep cut below his bottom lip. It's going to take 3 or 4 stitches in that one.
Oh, and the long pass launches Graham Hallis straight through the line. That was a superb piece of rugby. It was clinically executed, obviously practiced at training in midweek by Mulreilly. And there are few faster centres than Graham Hallis, this former Great Britain tourist. He took the ball sweetly, ran perfectly, and it's 6-2.
Well, you said practice that's caused this. As perfect practice makes perfect. The long ball out there, Hallis, as you say, strong, straight running centre, found the gap, strides all the way to the line for a great try in the opening minutes.
We can see here, Joe, that he spots the gap. There's one man up in defence and one back, isn't there?
That's right. The Warrington line was slightly staggered. And it was Lee Penny, I think, that hung off the tackle, caused the gap. And when you get something like Hallis running through with speed and strength that he's got, very difficult to stop.
Well, whatever the defensive alignment, certainly Halifax taking advantage of it. And John Schuster looking for a second goal from a slightly easier angle and about 5 or 6 metres nearer to the posts. All action then here at Thrum Hall. Schuster calmly collects the conversion. 2 goals already from that man then, and Halifax in the lead. 8 points to 2.
Yeah, as we saw before, the line of Warrington, the defensive line was staggered. And when you get one player in front of the other one, it makes a little bit of indecision, and Graham Hallis spotted that guard, went straight through the middle of them to score by the side of the post.
Graham Hallis scored some spectacular tries down under for Great Britain. And Paul Round, very experienced forward, former St Helens, Oldham and 20,000 buy from Wakefield Trinity. And a big buy from Newcastle Knights, John Schuster. John Bentley coming in from the wing. Very big, powerful, the wingman can help his forwards. Harrison losing the ball, and well picked up by Kelly Shelford for the Wires. Mackey, Ellis looking to launch Davis. Davis can't get the pass away well. Halifax defence coming up very, very quickly, Joe.
And they spotted the Warrington were going to move the ball out wide there, and the outside centres, Schuster in particular, flew up to cut it off.
Number 3 there for Warrington, ex-Neath and Wales, Alan Bateman. Thursfield. And Paul Derbyshire, not the biggest of forwards, but certainly lively. The switch to Shelford. Typical Warrington move in midfield between Mackey and Shelford on the 5th tackle. Jonathan Davis, they were expecting him to kick. Oh, he tries the dummy. It almost came off, but there's a high tackle, and Paul Bishop's in there straight away. A former Warrington player, Paul Bishop, 5 seasons with the Warrington club, and Kevin Ellis, the ex-Bridgend man.
Jonathan Davis, as you said, everybody expected him to kick on the last tackle. When he realises that he can't go any further, tries to get the ball back. Kevin Ellis follows through. 2 fiery characters there with Bishop and Ellis.
Mr. Connolly telling Paul Bishop that he's the referee. He is awarding the kick to Halifax for the original high tackle from Kevin Ellis. Halifax content just to put the ball into touch. They retain possession. John Fieldhouse, former Great Britain prop, and a forward pass. Carl Harrison running, making his run far too early. Well spotted there by the referee, Mr. Connolly. Warrington ball. Greg Mackey to feed. Ellis tries to go himself. Former scrum half Kevin Ellis now playing effectively at stand-off, and Alan Bateman. Mackey. Halifax, Joe, closing down Mackey, Ellis and Shelford at the moment in midfield.
Yeah, they realise that Warrington's service comes from those 3 players, and they have very, very fast passing abilities, and they're closing down not only in the middle but out wide as well. They're cutting their options down.
And a high tackle against the Halifax substitute there, Gary Lord. Mr. Connolly saying keep them down.
That was a high tackle, yeah, on Roland Phillips there, just above the collar in the throat area, and that results in a penalty.
Any tackle nowadays above the shoulders, it does not necessarily have to be malicious, it can be accidental, but it is still now a penalty. Davies then now looking to narrow that gap. A tremendous buy by the Warrington club this season from Widnes, scored well over half of the points in the championship for the Cheshire club. Leaves on Monday with Halifax's John Bentley to take part in the World 7-a-sides in Sydney, representing Great Britain. Very tricky runner. And of course, a top-class goal kicker. Jonathan Davis. It's a good one. The roars behind the posts announce that kick. 2 more points then from Jonathan Davis. 8 points to 4 now for Halifax, and just edging back. Ellis again receiving. Mackey. Invariably these two halfbacks, Greg Mackey or Kevin Ellis, launching the forwards. Roland Phillips, the big Welshman, having a good season, has the ability to offload the ball in the tight. Here's one man who can offload a ball, Kenny Shelford. Former Kiwi halfback, now playing well at loose forward. Paul Derbyshire. Good tackling there by Perrott and Devotee. Jonathan Davis hurried into the kick, but it's a long one. Well looked after by Steve Lake. He's been playing well, this Halifax fullback, Steve Lake.
That's right, he's keeping Steve Hampson, the Great Britain fullback, out of the spot at the moment, so he must be playing well.
Joe, just looking where Halifax are down that corner, viewers may not realise there's a tremendous drop there of about 12 feet, isn't it? It's a very awkward pitch to play on.
There's a slope that runs down from, as we're looking at the right-hand side of the screen, to the left-hand corner, far left-hand corner, and it's very difficult to defend against. You'll notice that Halifax will pass up the hill, as it were, towards the camera, and then run down the hill later on.
That's right. There we are. Anyone who's ever played here will know what it's like when you get penned in that corner, and that's why Jonathan Davis is kicking to it. Lee Penny, his first incursion into the line. Great Britain under 21s fullback for Warrington. Bob Jackson. Be interesting to see whether this man, Bob Jackson, gets the full 80 minutes. He's been out of action for 2 or 3 months. And territorial advantage to Warrington, but not the points.
Well, that's right, Halifax have made the breaks and had the penalties on the mistakes.
Forward pass. Kelly Shelford a little bit disappointed, but I think he knows it was a forward pass. Opened up Halifax's defences.
It did split the Halifax line. He went for the overhead pass to try and find Jonathan Davis. It was forward though, in the resulting scrum now.
Halifax bringing John Bentley in. Interesting to see them starting off the original scrum with Paul Round there, and then bringing Bentley in for defence, using a big man. And another one here, substitute Gary Lord.
And from the touchline, remember that Craig Teetsall, the Warrington forward who went off early with a cut on the back of his head. Well, there's 1 minute for Warrington to get him back on the field, otherwise they'll have lost him. They'll be down to 14 men playing in this game, so it's important they get that bandage back on Teetsall's head and back into the action.
John Thursfield, number 9, the hooker, did well to grab hold of that ball, and Mike Gregory down, injured. Looks to be a leg injury. Let's hope it's not one of those long-standing injuries of Mike's, Joe.
I think he landed all twisted awkwardly in the tackle. I think it's his left ankle that he's holding. But as you say, let's hope it's nothing too serious.
But Warrington still moving on the attack. Ellis looks for the gap. Doesn't find it, but finds John Thursfield. Alan Bateman. Oh, but a good tackle again by Paul Bishop, having a good game against his old club. And Mike Gregory back on his feet. Jonathan Davis, a towering kick up there. Steve lays underneath it. Oh, and he takes it brilliantly. No wonder he's keeping Steve Hampson out of the side. Paul Round. And Mark Hilton, Warrington sub, limbering up. Could be a problem for Warrington if they use these 2 subs up very, very early, Joe.
It could be. I noticed there's 2 forward subs on the bench for Warrington, but then when you look in the pack, they have players that have played in the back line with Derbyshire and obviously Kelly Shelford, so they, they can switch the pack around and play anywhere really.
And it looks as if Sutherland has been stitched up. Oh, Devotee losing the ball. Referee Mr. Connolly allowing play on. Well picked up by Mark Forster. Roland Phillips, look for support, has to go on his own. There we see the plaster over the stitches. By Gregory. It's all action here at Thrum Hall. Both sides really moving in fiercely. Long pass. Not really judging the wind down that slope there with the passing. Ellis, Derbyshire. Of Jackson. Mike Gregory still receiving attention. Davis again coming in on the 5th tackle, launching another one of those high balls, but Lay once again is up to the task. He's taken them perfectly, and he's running out. He's good as well, Joe.
That was brilliant play by the full-back Lay there. Not only to keep his eye on the ball and control it well, but brought it out a full 10-15 metres, helping his forwards.
Moving it out now, Devotee, the long pass to Graham Hallis. He's got Mark Preston on his outside. Preston cuts inside. Oh, this man Preston, a real flyer. Warrington know that. They moved across quickly. Bishop and Hagan moving back inside to Lord. Bishop again, pressing forward. He calls for Paul Round. Oh, good dummy from Paul Round. He gets into Mark Preston. Now then, this boy's got plenty of pace. But a good cover tackle by Lee Penny. They've hit a mud patch there. Halifax will want to move it away from there. They do. Michael Hagan over ball to Schuster, and it's out to John Bentley for the corner, and John Bentley is in for try number 2. Oh, copybook passing along the line. Halifax press down the left with Preston, and Bentley is the man who gets the try. I said there were few finer wing pairings than these two men. One pure pace, and this man, real size, Joe.
Beautiful passing rugby from Halifax. They'd moved it left, and Mark Preston making a break at the sideline with his pace, and switched it right. Good passing along the line. Fine Bentley still had a bit to do to get rid of Jonathan Davis. Goes in the corner.
And here we see, Joe, copybook passing, isn't it?
It is the drawing the man onto the ball, drawing the defence onto the ball, I should say, and then the one pass out. Bentley still a bit to do to get in at the corner, beats Davis on the outside, puts the ball there for 4 valuable points for Halifax.
Not left John Schuster with the easiest of kicks, but of course in a cup tie your first priority is just to get that ball over the line. That's what John Bentley did. And tremendous confident start here by the Yorkshireman. John Schuster, as with most kickers in the game these days, around the corner style. Not very effective this time. So, his first miss of the match, but certainly it wasn't a miss from that man, John Bentley. 12-4 for Halifax. Well, he doesn't look very happy, but he should be. Mulreilly, the Halifax boss.
This is the Halifax move that results in the try. Mark Preston it was who'd made the dent at the defence on the left-hand side. The ball is swung wide to the right, John Bentley's wing, and he crosses in the corner. Tries to improve it for the goal kicking, but very, very difficult. And as you said, it's more important you get the ball down in cup competition.
Jonathan Davis's kick finding Paul Bishop, and once again finding the ever-willing Paul Round. Every metre every metre in this game vital. He's looking to the referee to call held, and Mr. Connolly does do so. Perrott, one of the Halifax youngsters, really making his way in the game. Great Britain under-21s against the Kiwis this season. And John Fieldhouse, not a youngster by any means, but very effective in the front row. Number 10 for Halifax there, Devotee. And this big penalty for interfering at the play of the ball. John Thursfield may protest his innocence, but Mr. Connolly says no, hands off.
Gary Devotee tries to get up to play the ball quickly here. The referee judged that John Firstfield was just holding him down that little bit too long. It's a penalty to Halifax and a chance to kick for touch.
And not a lot of penalties conceded for such a close cup tie, Joe.
Not really at the moment. It's been played. It's some good football being played though, Red. You know, Halifax probably on the better of the football at the moment, throwing this ball around, using the width well.
John Fieldhouse. All round, one of the cup deadline signings back in January. A bargain at £20,000. Southernwood back on the field there at acting half-back for Gary Lord. Schuster to Michael Hagan here now. Back to Southernwood. Carl Harrison standing deep. Steve Lay. It almost worked, the dummy. Bishop sends Carl Harrison towards that line. Bishop again. Oh, good pass from Bishop to Hagan. All round, they're queuing up here. That's a good kick from Round, but well saved there by Rob Myler. Myler, knowing that Bentley was coming, pounding down behind him, all he could do was put the kick in.
This is pressure football from Halifax. They take the ball to Warrington's defence, then put it to the ground up by the boot. Rob Myler had no choice though but put it over the dead ball line there for the drop out into the sticks.
Warrington at the moment, Joe, don't seem to be able to come to terms with this big, strong Halifax pack that's coming down on them all the time.
Yes, Warrington are taking backward steps really with the size of the Halifax pack, but it's the backs that seem to be doing the damage there. They're getting the ball out wide as well and really turning the Warrington defence round.
Yes, we talked about pace in the Warrington midfield, but there's plenty in this Halifax side as well, isn't there?
Yeah, you go through every position in the back line, they've all got the ability to score tries and to run the ball.
Southernwood to Lay, Graham Hallis again, oh, almost going in for a second, still gets him back to Steve Lay. Adventurous rugby here by Halifax, moving this ball from one side of the pitch to the other. It's Bishop and Hagan, number 6 here, who are doing the damage. To Schuster, he's got Davis opposite him, he doesn't get past this time. Carl Harrison, the skipper. Unfortunate mistake there from John Fieldhouse. Just takes the pressure off Warrington. Warrington trailing by 12 points to 4. Just less than 10 minutes remaining now in this first half. These Warrington forwards meeting stiff resistance. Paul Derbyshire. Mike Gregory. Well, Earthfield was looking for Davis. He found Bob Johnson. He eventually found Davis, and Jonathan Davis using his pace to extricate himself from difficulties. But the kick, well picked up by Bentley and Steve Lay. Good chasing there, Joe.
That was a good defensive line from Warrington. Davis eventually got the kick in, and the players moved upfield, the Warrington players moved upfield in a line to take.
John Bentley likes to switch wings. A little too near that touchline for comfort. Bishop. Hallis. Having a good game, Hallis. Michael Hagan. Oh, that's a good pass to Bishop. Superb play from Halifax. They're really spinning this ball around. Plenty of pressure on Warrington. Hagan again. Mr. Connolly shrieking to the Warrington players to get back in defence. John Fieldhouse, Bishop again. Oh, Southernwood running on the 5th tackle. He's got Paul Round outside there. Can't get his pass away. Picked up by Rob Myler. Paul Round running well down that right-hand side.
The whole Halifax team are playing with commitment and confidence. They're getting a lot of air to the ball, passing when it really looks like there's nothing on, but they manage to slip the tackles and get the ball out. They're playing very, very well. Malcolm Mally's really got them fired up.
All Derbyshire just having a little attention to an ankle injury. Mackey and Ellis trying to get this Warrington backline moving, but not with much success. The defence moving in very, very quickly in the centres. Bateman and Davis well looked after at the moment, but Jonathan Davis trying to pressure Steve Lay again. Oh, that's a wild pass to Preston. Alice. Southernwood. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd at Bob Jackson's tackle there, went over Fieldhouse's head. Carl Harrison. And Southernwood looking lively since his reappearance on the pitch. Hagan. Inside, and it's Paul Round again. He's got plenty of pace in this second row. He's going for the try himself. Lee Penny, good tackle. Oh, tremendous tackle by Lee Penny, but Paul Round confident to go himself. The ball on the outside. Hallis misjudges. It's a knock-on and the danger over. But what a good run there from Paul Round. And Halifax almost into the corner. Frantic defence by Warrington. Surprisingly, Joe, more handling errors from Halifax, but they have been in possession, haven't they?
Yes, and they have been throwing the ball around lots as well. You know, they're going to take the chances. They've been coming off so far.
Roland Phillips. Warrington having difficulty in getting out of this half. Only the kicks of Jonathan Davis taking them out, and there we see the tackling I've been talking about. John Schuster out wide there. Kelly Shelford trying to make headway down the blind side. And Jonathan Davis having to kick out of defence again. Lane. Mark Preston just bringing the ball out wide, allowing his pack to get back, and Mark Hilton, the young academy player for Warrington, looking to get on the field. Fieldhouse. Oh, was that ball knocked down? I think it was. Play on, says Mr. Connolly. Back to one, yes. Lucky break there for Halifax. Hagan. To Gary DeMorte. Steps inside. This back three of Halifax got plenty of pace.
Yeah, the whole team's, you know, can really run with the ball, but they are playing very, very well the back of the scrum.
Bishop, Southernwood, Hallis again to Preston. Has to come inside. The way forward, blocked by Alan Bateman, but Bishop again and Hagan at the heart of this Halifax attack. All round. Knock on. What a game this second row Paul Round's having. And Mark Hilton, a giant of a lad, but still only a teenager in the academy side. And Roland Phillips having a rest. Quite common these days, isn't it, Joe, for coaches to spell their forwards 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off.
That's right, just saves a little bit for later on in the game, and like we look at Warrington's team now, they had two forwards on the bench, so they could use them very, very effectively. And immediately that Hilton comes on, he cops a high tackle. And Mr. Connolly telling Gary DeMorte, I've warned you twice. Yeah, that was a high tackle. Gary Devote came over the top, but Paul Lane really finished him off by standing his ground and knocking him to the floor.
Just a couple of minutes remaining then in this first half. Halifax still 12 points to 4 to the good. Devote, who gave away the penalty. Mackey using Hilton, the youngster. 2 fresh legs on the field for Warrington. Can it help? Jackson. Warrington will be looking for some points before the half-time. Gregory, the switch again to Shelford. Bateman, but just look at that Halifax three-quarter line. Up again. Schuster was in the line. Devote was there. And that's why Ellis is taking it away from that in half-back position. Just inside the Halifax 20-metre area now. Shelford, well taken. Paul Derbyshire, the 5th tackle. Jonathan Davis. Oh, well, I thought Davis should have put a little rubber kick in. Devote, good charge down. Gary Devote reading the kick there. Brought Halifax out of defence. Hallis.
Davis just delayed a little bit too long here with the kick, and Gary Devote charged it down. Did very, very well to stop that move.
And Halifax not determined not just to wait for that half-time hooter, looking for more points to Hallis again. Good run around with Steve Lade, coming again. He's very, very quick, is Graham Hallis. Preston, Hagan to Harrison. Hagan again. Schuster now then, it's a 2-1. Schuster looking to bring John Bentley inside, elects to hold the ball into injury time now in this first half. Surely a high one, it is. That's a tester for Lee Penny. Oh, Kelly Shelford picks it up to Mike Gregory. From defence to attack here, Mark Foster. Warrington protesting that they're being held down at the tackle. It's Warrington now, coming strongly. Kevin Ellis. Bob Jackson, not often found in the centre position or wide there. Hard grafting Aussie second row. Oh, that looked a forward pass. Well, Mr. Connolly looked to his touch judge to help, but it wasn't forthcoming. Ellis, Shelford, back to Ellis. And there is the hooter in the opening 40 minutes, but as we said, enough talent in the Warrington side still to make the outcome of this match debatable. And a very good kick there from Halifax, finding touch just inside that 20-metre area. Paul Bishop. Oh, and a good drive there by the Halifax scrum. Don't see that very often in rugby league. Obviously, Malreilly had told them to do that from the first scrum. And a cut on Jonathan Davis's nose there. I don't think bad enough to take the Welshman off the field. No. Oh, and a good break by Davis. Tried to get the pass away, intercepted by John Bentley. He'll be allowed to play on. He does. And a good recovery by this powerful wingman here for Halifax, John Bentley. Into the action. An old saying in rugby league that it takes forwards to get you to Wembley and backs to win the cup when you get there. But certainly these Halifax backs and those 2 tries from Hallis and Bentley defying the logic of that saying. And oh, the good run, but it'll not be a second try from Graham Hallis. Mr. Connolly right on the spot. No try.
Carl Harrison there running strong. Just flicks that ball. The referee adjudged that it was forward, but Halifax trying to take another chance there.
Alan Bateman with a very painful right shoulder. Kevin Ellis taking the safety first route back inside. Mark Hilton, an ever improving youngster from the Warrington successful academy side. All Derbyshire.
From the Warrington dressing room, Brian Johnson's view was that Halifax got off to a flying start in this game. They got Warrington onto the back foot and they never really got off it. Brian Johnson was happy that half-time came because it gave his players a breather. He thinks they can build on something now. Halifax, though, they've got to keep on doing what they've been doing. They've got to take the chances that they missed in the first half, and the view is that one more score for Halifax and they'll win this game.
Kelly Shelford. One more score from Halifax could win this game, Joe. Do you believe that?
Possibly, but like you said earlier, Warrington have got so much talent in the team that anything could happen in this cup tie. I have been impressed in the first 40 minutes with the Halifax centres, both on defence and attack. They've run the ball back well, but obviously on defence they've moved up quickly and shut Warrington's options down.
Oh, good, strong driving run there by Hagen. Oh, and a pass to Lee. He's got Schuster outside him. Has he delayed too long? No, John Bentley, no. The run for the line, but good cover. Back inside to Schuster. Halifax still moving this ball. Bishop. And Halifax on this 20-metre line. Michael Hagen. Desperate defence here from Warrington as Southernwood making valuable ground until picked up there by Hilton. And Paul Round decides to have a go from the play the ball situation. Bishop seems to be launching everything along with this man Hagen. The kick for John Bentley. Can't take it. John Bentley, another one for the Sydney Sevens next week, possibly used as a forward. And Mr. Connolly wanting the two packs right on the mark there. Another good push from Halifax. Keeps the pressure on New Warrington. Mackie had to put that ball back under pressure. Mike Gregory coming away, but tremendous tackling here from the Halifax side. No better tackle than that one there from number 10, John Fieldhouse. The youngster Hilton, number 15, coming in the game now, Joe.
Yeah, you wouldn't think he was as young as his age. He's been playing very, very well of late. He runs very strong, very hard and mature, as I say, for those years.
Jonathan Davis again using the kick to try to... oh, well, Steve Lay's first mistake. And at last, Warrington gain a foothold in that Halifax half. He's caught the ball well in the first half, Joe, hasn't he?
He's had an excellent game so far. Maybe he's just relaxed a little bit too much. Everything seemed to be right, he just dropped the ball. That's the things that happen when you're playing fullback.
Kevin Ellis minus the headband now to one with the headband. Alan Bateman, the little chip through. Oh, it's still on there. But Myler is going in for a try. Oh, and it came from the chip through. And it's a try. Underneath the post for Rob Myler. The little chip kick through. I thought John Bentley had it. And as we said, there's still tremendous talent in this Warrington side to haul themselves back in this game. 12-8 for Castleford, and the goal for Halifax, and the goal to come.
Little remember Davis there. Bateman tries something a little bit different, puts the rubber kick through. Thought John Bentley was unlucky here. Seemed to have the ball covered. It spills out to Bob Myler's on hand to pick it up and race under the post for the try.
As you say, John Bentley was a little unlucky here. He did cover that ball, he got his body right down on it, but Then he went, and all credit to Rob Myler for the way he picked it up, Joe.
Yeah, he was on hand there to jump on that chance. But it was Alan Bateman's little kick, a grubber kick, something different, maybe that was said at half-time, just to turn the Halifax defence round. And the results paid dividends.
And the roars behind those posts tell us that Jonathan Davis' kick was successful. And that's how close it is now. 2 points separating these two sides.
There's that kick through, just turning the defence round, turning the wing around. He has to get back and try and cover the ball. It spills out, but Rob Myler on hand pounces on the ball, a clear up to the line.
And that try should really give Warrington some heart. Mark Foster attempting to shrug off a couple of these Halifax tackles.
An interested spectator on the bench, Great Britain and Halifax fullback not playing today, Steve Hampson. Steve, this is a different complexion on the game now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Warrington came back strong. Halifax needed to score first just to keep them at bay. But now this will make the game a lot more interesting, especially with the way the Warrington come back. They're a very strong side and a terrific football team.
There's a feeling that this is the best that Halifax have played for many weeks.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a downer for the last couple of weeks, but this is definitely the best game ever.
Oh, and it's a chase again with Rob Myler, but just beat there. But Warrington now showing how dangerous they can be, and all that came from Jonathan Davis's high kick. He's using the wind, and this man nearly was in again.
John Bennett loses that ball. Myler again is on hand to kick through. Which also for Steve Laird, that would have been another try for Warrington. They certainly have picked the game up in the last 5 minutes.
And the chance. Lifting spear tackle, says Mr. Connolly, against Michael Hagan. He's not very happy with it, but a dangerous tackle.
Lee Penny running back well there. Michael Hagan did pick his feet off the floor, did manage to get Lee Penny's feet off the floor, but whether that was a spear tackle, I don't know. I think that might have been a little bit harsh. It seemed to me to just be a very, very good, strong tackle.
Well, harsh or not, it's a chance for Jonathan Davis to level the scores. Almost 40 metres out, but he has this very strong blustery wind to contend with. And the wind playing havoc with Davis's preparations. There we see the flag and the force of that wind. Difficult for these goal kickers, John Schuster and this man, Jonathan Davis. But Davis, the Rugby League's leading point scorer this season, looking for two very valuable points from here. Oh, it's a tremendous kick! And a tremendous effort there from Jonathan Davis. And we were talking about Halifax needing one more try for victory, Joe, and we're back all square.
We also said that the Warrington had enough talent in this team to turn it round. They put the pressure on Halifax the last 10 minutes and come up with a try, and obviously Jonathan Davis kicking a superb goal there to level the scores.
Both teams now then looking to edge ahead. And John Fieldhouse coming off Gary Lord. Gary Lord in the action again. There he is, number 15, attempting to charge down Jonathan Davis's kick. Not successful. Picked up by Steve Laird. And Warrington defenders now looking livelier, quicker into the chase. It's Warrington closing in now into John Schuster. Bishop attempting to launch that Halifax three-quarter line as well as he did in the opening 40 minutes. Down the blind side here, Gary Lord. A rangy, running former second row, now earning his keep here at Thrumhall as a prop. Hagan to Round. Can he get the pass away? No, he can't. On the fifth tackle, and I'm sure Paul Bishop will, well, I thought he would use the wind. He doesn't, but he gets a knock on. Well, he's very fortunate, I think, Paul Bishop there, Joe.
Yeah, he tried a little kick through. Mike Gregory collected the ball, but as he dragged it back in towards his body, as you see here on the replay, Mike Gregory will pull it back in towards his body, and that's classed as a knock on.
And Halifax with possession from the scrum, bringing John Bentley on an inside move. 15-stone wing, this number 2. Gary Devote. Perez. Powerful run there from the youngster, number 12. Mark Perez. Hagan again with those long passes to Hallis, but well policed this time. Warrington surprised by Graham Hallis' speed in the first half. Back to Harrison. Oh, Southernwood running on the fifth tackle. Well picked up by Mark Foster. Warrington certainly will settle this down here. No slips wanted now. Halifax 12, Warrington 12. Oh, good passing movement now then. We've got Gregory, couldn't get that ball to Bateman. Perhaps held on just a shade too long, but it's Warrington now, looking lively in midfield. Mackey, Shelford, superb pass to Ellis. Good cover there by Paul Bishop, good sweeper defence by Paul Bishop. Jonathan Davis again. Oh, still gets the ball to Jackson. Jackson desperate to get it away. Kicked through by Thursfield. It'll not roll dead. Steve Leigh has to bring it into the action. And a good sequence by Warrington, Joe.
Yeah, they worked that ball out well. Whether that was a planned move there with the hooker kicking it on the volley, I'm not quite sure, but it worked to good effect.
We talk about a game, Joe, hanging in the balance. Is this the stage?
Well, it's classic cup football, isn't it, Ray? You know, we've got both teams now. It's level on the scoreboard. Both with playing with excellent football and very good determination.
Oh, that was a superb pass to John Bentley. Back to Schuster. But good cover across field by Warrington. Just look there. 3 Warrington defenders across. And skipper Greg Mackey. In as the sweeper. Oh, Gary Devote. The burst. Fired a loose forward. He's not got the support, but he's kicked the ball. It's a chase between Devote. Oh, and Paul Derbyshire gets back there. Excellent cover back by that number 11 for Warrington, Paul Derbyshire. He used to be a midfield back, and that extra yard of pace stood him in good stead against Gary Devote. It's a breathless pace here at Thrumhall, and let's not forget that that's a very, very heavy pitch underfoot. It's bound to take its toll on the players, Joe, this pitch.
I think the legs will tire later on, Ray. That will only mean that there'll be more gaps out there for players like Gary Devote to exploit.
And Malcolm really. Davis keeping the ball low this time, looking for distance. Preston. Graham Hallis. Gary Lord, Halifax gaining ground with the forwards. It's a Brinkirk. Mark Perrott. Bishop and Hagan again, looking to move the ball out wide. To knock on. advantage played. And Brian Johnson must be a happier man now this second half. Joe, you kicked a very memorable drop goal here to beat Halifax in a quarter-final last year. Do you think we could come down to drop goals?
Well, the scores are level now, Ray, and I'm sure that could be a big factor. We've got two players, one on Warrington and one on Halifax, who can do just that job. Jonathan Davis, obviously, for Warrington, and Paul Bishop, who scored many a drop goal for Halifax and when he was playing with Warrington. So, if it did come down to that, there are other players on the field to do it.
Back to one tackle, says Mr. Connolly after that drop ball. Both sides desperately seeking possibly then to get near the goal post for an attempt at a drop. Derbyshire.
Roy Lester in charge of the Warrington bench. Roy, that half-time break certainly did you a power of good.
Yeah, we were trying to catch our breath in the first half. We were playing very well, but now we're going to score again here by the looks of things.
Yeah. Jonathan Davis goes into the corner. Oh, a magnificent try! An unbelievable run down the side there from Jonathan Davis. A sensational piece of Welsh wizardry from this man. We said this could happen, and it has, Joe.
This is the kind of magic from Davis that you just can't coach. A little bit of a handoff, gets the half break. Electric pace over 10-15 yards. Gets into the corner, little body swerve, and he's just managed to keep his balance to touch the ball in. That's an absolutely fantastic try.
And it's the sheer pace, isn't it, Joe, as he moves through here. When we think that he's competing against a wingman here, he goes round Bishop, launches himself, and then just that feint inside, and the poise and the balance, keeps himself in, and the try at the corner. One of the great tries of the season, I think, from Jonathan Davis. And, well, he's even joking there with the fans. And a difficult kick now from the touchline. Davis comes in. But we can see holding up in that win there, very, very difficult. But Warrington, from looking to be going out of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup at half-time, now leading by 16 points to 12. And what a try that was, Joe, wasn't it?
It was an absolutely fantastic try from Jonathan Davis. Jiffy, as his nickname is. It just showed the balance and the poise of the player. The ball comes out here on the replay. Jonathan Davis gets the half chance with a bit of a handoff. And this body swerve, you think Steve Lay done everything right by pushing it towards the sideline. But balance and poise, and he goes over the corner.
Warrington penned in the 20-metre area, but now in control of this game. Thursfield. And we can see Warrington's possession moved up there, Joe, now, 58%.
Yeah, they looked a little bit shell-shocked maybe in the first half, but they've really come alive in the second half. Played some good football. Maybe this slope here at Thrumwall has a lot to do with it, but they still are playing very, very good rugby.
Back to Jonathan Davis, using the sidestep before the kick towards John Bentley. Bentley finds Steve Lay inside. Halifax doing well, seeking to counter-attack there from the kick. Halifax have got to haul themselves back in this game, coming into the last quarter now of this Challenge Cup tie. Hallis, Southernwood to Carl Harrison. And I wonder what's going through Malreely's head now, Joe. He must have been very confident.
Well, at half-time his talk was that if they scored next they would win the game. Instead they let Warrington come right back into it, and they're playing very, very determined football now, and it's going to take an awful big effort now from Halifax just to get level.
Roy Southernwood bravely battling on. despite serious cut to his mouth. Mark Hilton doing a very good job at first receiver there, taking away the ball, this youngster. And a significant factor there, just 5 handling errors from Warrington.
Yeah, they control the ball a lot better than Halifax. Halifax did give the ball a lot of error in the first half. But the thing now is not to panic. Both teams have got to play their own game and play good football. Halifax obviously got to make up the points.
Ellie Shelford with Alan Bateman. Bateman bringing his wingman Mark Foster inside, but again, good cover tackling. Graham Hallis coming across. Greg Mackey on the short side. Oh, it's back there to Alan Bateman. Puts in the little chip kick, but picked up by Halifax. Desperate defence there by Halifax. Mark Preston did well to get down to pick that ball up. But the speed of these two Warrington centres, Bateman and Davis, testing Halifax, just as the power and speed of Schuster and Hallis tested Warrington in the first half. Paul Round. Warrington picking up Paul Round a little better now in this half than they did previously. Southernwood to Bishop. Oh, and a good break by Bishop, but no forwards coming off him, Joe.
No support. It's very difficult to explain on television how much this slope can affect teams. Halifax struggled then just to get out, and when Bishop did make the break, the forwards, who seemed a little bit tired, just couldn't get with him.
Lee Penny just letting that ball roll aimlessly into touch because he knows his side of the head and put in at the scrum. And according to the law of averages in rugby league scrummaging these days, it should be Warrington's ball. 16-12 then, Warrington lead. Just coming up for 64 minutes gone. Forster. Tense time here now for both sets of fans. One try, either way could clinch it. Greg Mackey, little fiery skipper from Australia for Warrington, and another Aussie, Bob Jackson. Paul Darvish has had a good game in the second row.
He is, from a former centre, a lightweight second row, definitely, but his tackling and his work rate's been excellent.
Michael Hagan putting pressure on Davis, but Jonathan Davis launches a huge kick right downfield, picked up by Mark Preston, and suddenly, from attack, Halifax are back near their own 20-metre line. That's the power of the kicking these days in rugby league. There, Joe, we can just see what we're saying. Warrington 18 times have punched that ball down to the Halifax line.
That's the kind of football they'll be looking to play, with the slope and the wind. Pin Halifax back and wait for them to make mistakes.
Harris. Halifax then desperate now to haul themselves back in this game. Hagan trying to move this ball about to Paul Round. Moved it well out of the tackle. Hagan again. It's hard work down there. Hard work for the tacklers. It's a very, very heavy pitch. Very tiring on the legs. Good move there by Southernwood. He saw there were very few markers about. Bishop. Hagan decides to run. Paul Round elects to kick. And Lee Penny's underneath it, and he takes it well. He judges the wind. Alan Bateman gaining valuable metres. A very heavy patch down there in that Warrington 20-metre area. Any backs with any sense will leave the ball to the forwards, let them do the donkey work. And here is one who's done a lot of work this afternoon, Paul Derbyshire. Jonathan Davis for his 19th kick downfield, this time straight down the throat of John Bentley. Steve Lay. Ooh, that looked a high tackle from Jonathan Davis. Very lucky to get away with that was the Welshman. Bishop, Hagan, looks for the long pass, finds Herrott, who in turn finds Mark Preston. But Halifax being pushed backwards even in possession, Joe.
Yeah, Warrington got the tails up. You know, they're doing an excellent job in defence. They're doing exactly what Halifax did to them in the first half. Halifax now trying to get the ball out wide and use people like Bentley here and Mark Preston to score.
John Bentley putting the ball inside, and the touch judge quite rightly signalling the ball to Halifax. The ball was knocked down by the Warrington defender. Scrums all gone with the head. Shelford being penalised there for a penalty against him. Keeping out of the scrum, getting his head out of the scrum. The loose forward has to keep his head down in the scrum, and that's really put the pressure on his side now. But it's Sir Warrington picking that ball up. It didn't go into touch. It was well picked up by Penny. Mike Gregory. Forster. It's every man to the help now in this Warrington side. Anyone's taking the ball away. Metres are valuable. Shelford gets a nice little pass away there to Hilton. Davis puts the W in again. Oh, and he uses that pace. He's going for the line himself. And another brilliant solo try from Jonathan Davis. If any man has ever won a cup tie, then this man surely has won this one. 20 points to 12 and 2 tries, Joe, which I think you'll go a long, long way to see better.
Excellent play from Jonathan Davis. You can't give this man any room at all. The first try was out the top draw. We thought it might be in the line for a try of the season possibly, but this one just goes and beats it. They hang off Jonathan Davis here, little step, that blistering pace through the gap. And if you give him that kind of room, that kind of time, the balance and speed that he's got, he's going to score tries, and that's exactly what he's done.
What a wonderful capture for rugby league was this Welshman. At any time in a match he has the ability to strike, and when he does, it's with deadly efficiency. 2 tries that must rank as good as any by an individual in a cup tie. And looking for a goal. Oh yes, he finds it straight between the posts. And so the Welshman collecting the points, much to the delight of those Warrington fans who have crossed the Pennines, braved the early fog, braved the cold, and happy to see 22 points to 12.
It's a delight to watch this. The Halifax team defending, expecting Jonathan Davis to kick. Instead he dummies steps, goes through the gap, sheering pace, round the fullback. Not only that, but improves it to go into the post to make his own kick that's slightly bit easier.
But still, time yet. Warren Wilson coming on for John Schuster. Not had many appearances this season, Wilson. Now then, can Halifax get back into this cup tie in the closing minutes? It's Wilson on this outside here. Very difficult to come on now, having been sat on the bench for 60-70 minutes. Hagan trying to hoodwink, and Schuster with a knock to the arm. Devotee. Just less than 9 minutes remaining. Halifax desperate for points. Gary Lord driving to the line, just held up there. Mr. Connolly wants a quick play of the ball. It's Bishop. Bishop has a dive himself. A tiny man, look for the gap. The crowd are roaring. Mr. Connolly's given the try. Mr. Connor is given the try. Paul Bishop somehow must have squeezed his tiny frame beneath those Warrington defenders. He mustn't weigh so very much, this little lad, but plenty of pluck, plenty of heart under that jersey. And Warrington, well, shocked by the try, and Halifax back again, Joe.
Well, you said tiny frame, but big heart. This lad goes for the line. More like a rugby union try this, with the forwards coming in behind to give that extra weight. They're having now, pushing Paul Bishop. He squirms, turns over, yeah, puts the ball on the line.
Yeah, no problem with that try. Paul Bishop just squeezing the ball down. They all count, it doesn't matter how they scored. We had the try from Davis, the silken gifted skills, and we had the courage and the endeavour from Paul Bishop. Two different approaches, but both the same points.
You'd think the Warrington defence had him there, but he just managed to pop that right arm out with his back towards the line and just get the ball over for 4 points. You said it's exactly the same score no matter how you get over there.
The Challenge Cup is all about class and it's all about character, and we've certainly had plenty of that this afternoon. Just had an example of the character there from Paul Bishop, former Warrington player. Carl Harrison driving in now, good run. Just the 4 points difference. And a nervous Warrington coach there, Brian Johnson. As Hagan now moves it out wide, Paul round, he's got Warren Wilson. Oh, John French, he just can't take it. It's frantic rugby here as we come down to the closing stand. Mal really biting his nails. Frantic rugby here as we're in these closing stages. One try the difference.
On the Halifax bench with John Schuster, who's come off. John, you can't take your eyes off this, can you?
No, it's been it's been one of those games where it's gone from one end to another, and unfortunate for us, they've managed to pick up quite a few points in this half.
Could have been different, but Halifax missed a couple of chances in the first half, didn't they?
Definitely, we had our chances. We made for some of them and missed some, but we gave them a few opportunities and they made the most of them. That's the difference.
Not too late yet.
Not too late. I can see there's still 10 minutes left, so hopefully we'll put back into it.
Thanks, John.
The fifth tackle, I'm sure Warrington will want to get as near to that Halifax line as they can, and that is Davis's intention. It's a long raking kick right down to that bottom corner. Just rolls dead, touching goal. He really was hoping to push that into the corner flag. Warrington now will seek to keep Halifax down here. Just the 4 points difference. Less than 5 minutes remaining in this Challenge Cup tie, and Carl Harrison, the Halifax skipper, seeking to inspire his players now. Hagan to Gary Lord. Bishop, the switch to Perrott. And the fifth tackle, surely it'll be a kick from Hagan. It is. Oh, it's in that wind, it's a difficult one, hovering there, but it's well taken again by Penny. And a good handoff from the youngster. He's clutched hold of that ball. Possession's vital now, Joe, isn't it?
It is. We saw Malcolm Riley biting his nails not long ago. I'm sure he's down to his elbows by now. This is a nail-biting game if ever I've seen one. Lee Penny brings this ball out well from defence, having taken the kick. Hagan comes in, and I think the referee's just pulled him there for a little bit of facial treatment.
Evan Ellis trying to get away, but can't evade the clutches of Warren Wilson. Seconds counting down there in the top left-hand corner of our screens. Just the 4 points difference between the sides. Warrington 22, Halifax 18. And And Warrington very, very keen to put a lot of metres between the try line and this ball. It's the 5th tackle. He looked again to Jonathan Davis and his trusty boots. Again, another long kick. Picked up by John Bentley. 3 minutes. Is this Halifax's last chance? Oh, that ball was ripped out. Surely. Well, I think Mr. Connolly was unsighted, but unfortunate for Halifax there. It's 6 tackles now for Warrington. Warrington moving towards the Halifax line, looking for the kill here. Shelford. He's lost it. Picked up by Lay. 2.5 minutes remaining here at Drum Hall. Halifax 18, Warrington 22.
Maybe a little bit of justice there. I don't think that Halifax ball was dropped. I think there was a hand in the tackle. Eventually to get the ball back to a Warrington mistake. Now they've got to try and advance this ball upfield and get some points quickly.
Desperate defence here by Warrington, an equally desperate attack from Halifax, throwing the ball around anywhere they can, seeking a gap, seeking an overlap. Southernwood. A knock on, I think. Yes. Scrum down, head and ball to Warrington. Warrington win possession. Seconds counting down. Warrington looking to go into the next round. Forster helping out in midfield. Very heavy. They must be very, very tired, these players now.
I think this wind as well, Ray, now, the way the late stages of the game, they might work this ball towards the middle of the field for Jonathan Davis to try a drop goal.
Kelly Shelford content just to drive this ball towards the Halifax line. To Jonathan Davis, launches a high one, oh, and a very, very high one. It's showering up there, but Steve Lay, as he has done all the game, up to every one of those, just one slight problem with one ball. But here's John Bentley coming down the right wing. Oh, a glorious tackle there by Warrington skipper Greg Mackey. Bentley was free, and still Halifax are looking for a win. To Hagan. Hagan on the outside to Round. Unfortunately, dropped by Graham Hallis. And it's a scrum down to Warrington.
This might be the killer blow for Halifax. Desperation stuff. They turn the ball back inside. They have to try and take these chances. The ball goes to ground and Warrington scrum. That could be the killer punch.
And surely Warrington now will just play this ball out. We can see they've only made 7 handling errors, and they'll not want to make one in this sequence of 6. I don't think it'll move past the acting half-back or the first receiver. And the man of the match, Jonathan Davis. 2 scintillating tries. And a few goals. And Warrington surely now continuing the record of never losing to Halifax in a Challenge Cup since 1938. Their 6th successive victory in this tournament. Seconds remaining. And Kelly Shelford, this time on the right side there, just punching the ball along. There is the final hooter. Mr. Connolly blows his whistle. The Warrington fans are delighted, but Joe, that was a cup tie to rank with any.
It was a superb game to watch. Warrington maybe a little bit shell-shocked in the first half, didn't get off to the best starts. Graham Hallis probably having the better of the first half, and then the second half though, Jonathan Davis taking over in the centre spot, really ruling the roost, and 2 great tries, turning the game and turning it Warrington's way for a great cup win.
Certainly every one of those players in either side Graham Hallister will be disappointed, but he picked up a fine try. They can be proud of themselves. They've done their game of rugby league proud. A lot of endeavour, a lot of character, but above all, skill. Tremendous display from that youngster, number 15, Mark Hilton. And even the Halifax family there still cheering for their side. But that 4 points was the difference, and that's why the smiles are bigger on those Warrington supporters' faces. They'll travel back over the Pennines tonight, very happy.
Jonathan Davis, shall we say it was a make game of two harms? No, we won't. Let's talk about your two tries. One good enough for try of the season, then you even bettered it.
Yeah, well, any try is important in this in the cup, and you know, we were struggling. We didn't play too well first half. The forwards came back, you know, showed a lot of commitment, and I was fortunate to be there on the end of two tries.
That second try was really a killer, wasn't it?
I enjoyed that. You know, I've been